Hey guys, thanks for dropping by the channel today and checking out what is going on at the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker channel. It's truly appreciate people dropping by and saying hello. If you're a first time viewer, love it. If you're a repeat viewer, love it as well. So thank you guys for checking out the content today. What's in the spotlight is the Nike Kyrie 6. It's the shot clock. And there's a few things going on with this shoe. One is it's one of those shoes that when you dig into it and have a closer look, it's like more and more reveals itself to you, which is always a pleasure, because when a shoe looks kind of simple from afar, but when you dig into it and see more details, it's one of my favorite things in sneakers. There's also a real comparison down the Kyrie 6 line, and we're going to have a look at that comparison today to see the main feature on this shoe. So we'll pull back the Kyrie 6 USAs, we'll have a good look at the Kyrie 6 trophies, we'll bring in the Kyrie 6 neon graffitis so that we can really understand that signature feature on this shoe. And then there's a bunch of tiny little detailing in there as well, which is well worth taking a close-up look at. So without further ado, let's get into all of that as we take a look at the Nike Kyrie 6 shot clock. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker channel. Desu mainichi, absolutely no day, mainichi meeting the sign. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And what's in the spotlight today is the Nike Kyrie 6, the shot clock. And I've looked at a few Kyrie 6s down the line, but I always go back to the Kyrie 5 Ikets right here. Every single time I do a Kyrie 6 video, I always talk about how the peak for me with the Kyrie line was those Kyrie 5 Ikets, and anything after that just has not been up to scratch yet. And that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you think differently about Kyrie 5s and 6s. Feel free to shoot me up in the comments about that down below. But anyway, we're in a Kyrie 6 today, so we're going to take a look at all that detailing on there in a minute. But first, what I said we'd do is we'd take a look at the signature feature on these guys. And what I'm going to do first is I'll put up that signature feature, which is all about that ankle design that's going on there. And you can see the words 11 in there, and we'll get into what all that means in a minute. But I want to show you that so that I can then switch it out. And we'll go with the Kyrie 6 trophies first, because I remember when I did the video for this, I was like, I wonder which 6 trophies it is. Maybe it's like an MVP trophy. And then I was like, oh, it's Kyrie 6 trophies, not Kyrie 6 trophies. Okay, but anyway, here's the Kyrie 6 trophies, and you can see that the upper part of the ankle on there is a really glossy red finish. So you're like, okay, that's what they've got going on in that particular shoe. So and we've already looked at what we've got going on today, but I won't show you it again until the end of this, because I want to jump over and take a look. Let's go to the neon graffitis, and we'll be zoomed in again on that ankle there, so that you can see the different material that's going on. The gloss that once was on the Kyrie 6 trophies is now being replaced with almost a tumbled leather. It's definitely a textured leather. I might go so far as to say a tumbled leather on there. So a totally different feel and totally different vibe to those Kyrie 6 trophies. And then we get to that third sneaker that I mentioned, which is the Kyrie 6 USA. Bang, there it is again. Now we're onto a sort of matte finish. Totally different again from the previous 3. So that's the real signature place to look on the shoe, is to get up and close in on the ankle and see exactly what's going on in terms of the material and the finish. And like I said, we've had in the order that I presented them, that glossy finish, that textured finish, and then that matte finish. And then today, bang, we're back up here, and it's a totally unique thing. Hopefully, me having gone through those 3 previous sneakers has got you guys really checking out that ankle there and really appreciating the signature detail on the Kyrie 6 shot clock, because it's totally different material on that ankle there, all dotted. To me, it looks like LED lights, and I think that's what they're going for, because it's supposed to be the shot clock, you know, the clock that counts down. I think it's 24 seconds in basketball. Not huge basketball for me. I know basketball, but I'm not like, you know, Mr. Basketball. But I think it's a 24-second shot clock. And you can see it says 11 on there in words, which is a bit sort of like, since the shot clock doesn't count down in letters, it counts down in numbers. So that's my first kind of like on there. And then my second thing on there, even though, you know, like I said, I'm showing you this because I really want you to understand the construction of the ankle and those dots on there and get a feel for the material and the design. But my second is the fact it says 11. That's Kyrie's number, which makes sense. But I was kind of thinking when I first looked at the shoe and it said shot clock, and I saw that there were going to be numbers, you know, in the shoe, shall we say. I was hoping that there'd be more significant numbers. Like on the 6 trophies, the Kyrie 6 trophies, there were some significant dates on there that represented like milestones in Kyrie Irving's career. And I was kind of hoping for something like that time when he, 2.01 seconds left and he made a 3-pointer, like behind his back or something. Or 1.4 seconds left and he's, hit the shot to win the series or whatever. I was hoping it would be that kind of number on there, but just the words 11, which is his number, is a bit sort of a letdown for me. I was expecting a bit more of a story, but still it's cool, but staying on there with that design and those numbers, the next feature that we've really got to understand and look at is the colouring on there, because it's mainly black, but then you've got that detailing with the word 11, and it's coming at us in what I'm going to call blue and red, even though the red is very, very sort of pastel, for want of a better word. I'm going to say blue and red, and that's important because if we come forward in the sneaker and we get to the sort of lower part of the lacing system, there's a really cool feature going on there where on the lateral side you've got like separated 2 lines, one in red, one in blue, below 2 eyelets, one in red, one in blue. But then when the laces kind of come across to the medial side, those 2 separated lines have now joined together and they're parallel together on the medial side. I think that's a really cool little feature. It's a tiny little touch, but I love tiny little touches in my shoes, one of my favorite things. I wish the eyelet on the far side had actually had a bit of color on it, but it's only in black. But anyway, I still think it's a very cool feature. Now, if we go up from there to the top of the tongue, we're still on the things that are the blue and red sort of feature of the shoe, because it's very important to look at those and to get them all, in sight, and in sight because eyes are important in this shoe, all seeing eye and all that. But we're up onto the top of the tongues, and you can see that the 2 shoes, they alternate the colors, one black, one blue, and one red. And I always love it. I say it every single time that there are unique differences between the left and the right shoe, that I think that's the signature of a good shoe, because they've spent time on design rather than money. Much easier to have the same colors on the tongue there, because it's a lot cheaper basically and a lot easier to create that tongue if it's just one design, but having different colors on there gives me faith that they've actually taken the time to design it. And that's why this is disappointing, because if we move up from those tongues and go straight into the insoles, I think I'm right in saying it's red on the inside. Usually when I think I'm right about something, I'm wrong, but I think I'm right in saying that they're both red. I know they're both the same color, and that's the point of what I'm saying to you, and you can see what color they are behind me here anyway. But why did they take such a time to make the 2 tongues a different color and then not the 2 insoles, which is a bit of a disappointment to me. I wish they'd done a little bit more on that. And another place I wish they'd done a little bit more is on the midfoot strap, because it's all in black. Before we get to that all in black midfoot strap, let's go to the back of these guys and see that all-seeing eye there, Egypt and all of that. I'm not going to get into that detailing. I've been there before with Kyrie 6s and 5s, but that eye on the back there that represents ancient Egyptian history is a big deal to Kyrie Irving. I'm yes on the all black all-seeing eye on the back of these shoes. I'm not yes on the all-black midfoot strap. I'm generally quite critical of midfoot straps, not my favourite thing. But in the case of these guys, yeah, black's okay, it's very solid, but I would have actually wished they'd done more. Usually I want people, brands to do less with midfoot straps. I want them to be sort of less, as in not there at all. But in the case of this one, I wanted a little bit more. Hopefully what you're looking at behind me here is that VI, and I don't know which way around it will look good to you, but it's meant to say 6, so either VI that way or VI that way, but it's 6. It could have had a bit of colour, maybe red on one shoe and blue on the other to match that motif. And then the same if you go up onto the top of the midfoot strap again, you can see that sort of Egyptian motif on there. Again, why didn't they decide to put in some colour on that and give it a little bit more pop? So usually I'd be like to midfoot straps, but in the case of this one I want a bit more, not a bit less. And then the last 2 things, actually I nearly missed out on one of the super most important things on this shoe, and again it's a bit of a disappointment. So we'll stay at the medial side and look at the swooshes on there. You can see it matches that motif from up on the ankle as dotted blue swooshes, but these dotted blue swooshes are on both medial sides. Why didn't they make one red and one blue to go with the rest of the motif of this shoe? Bit of a disappointment there. But what's an absolutely popping fire major element of this shoe is the swoosh on the lateral side, and hopefully you'll be able to see that right here in that iridescent popping colour which really jumps off of the shoe. So swooshes on the lateral side, yay. Swooshes on the medial side, could have done better. And then if we look at the underside of the shoe, it's always kind of fun, I suppose, in a way, to look at the outsole on Kyrie 6s because they colour block them in different ways. The actual physical construction of the outsole is the same on every Kyrie 6 because that's the design. But what they sometimes do is that eye, as is the case here, gets the sort of highlight and the colour on there. But sometimes it's actually the eye is the same colour as the rest of the outsole, and it's the triangles towards the back of the outsole that get the attention. And I like that. I like that they kind of play up with the different sections of the shoe. But in the case of today, it's that all-seeing eye at the front of the shoe that gets a bit of colour, unlike the heel, like we said earlier, where it's all in black. So then coming back to the whole shoe, I think that's just about everything there is for me to talk about in relation to it. I probably missed out something. I always do miss out something. I'm just checking my iPad down here to see if there is something. Oh, there is, and it's super important. Oh, I'm so glad my iPad's sitting there, and it usually falls off by now, so I'm glad it hasn't. Humble and hungry. One of my favourite features, like I said, is when there's little details on a shoe, and hopefully what you're looking at here is a really difficult to read word right at the bottom of the tongues, because you've got the black tongue with black writing on it, and what it actually says, I think in the case of this one, is hungry, which makes it the left shoe, and then on the right shoe I think it says humble, but I probably got that the wrong way round as well. But love those kind of little details on a shoe, and you really can't see it on this one very well unless you probably got these shoes in hand, but a great little touch that you'll see more contrasted on other Kyrie 6s, for example gold on red, making it easier to see. But in the case of these guys, black on black, not so easy to see, but still there, and a great, hungry but humble. I think that's a great pair of things to aim for. And speaking of aiming for things, I'm aiming for this video to be going out within the next couple of days, so I'm going to pack it up and go edit it, which takes a bit of time. So I'll just check off. Thank you guys for checking out the content, but you know what? I do this every single day, so that means that I'm guaranteed to see you, or are you guaranteed to see me tomorrow?